Sarah, you are studying pharmaceutical chemistry at the university in Merida, here in Mexico. And only 2 years ago you became a believer. And I would like to hear from you, what was your perception and your picture of the Christian faith before you became a believer?
Yeah, I used to believe that the Bible is an old book that nobody reads. But then in October of 2012, I met Jose, and we both became good friends. One day we started talking about the Bible, and for me, this was a really sensitive topic. I thought that you had to avoid talking about politics and religion if you want to have good relationship with others.
You were invited to a Bible study and you had the courage to went along. What or how did this look like and what was your experience?
Yeah, Jose invited me in a Bible study of Compa. It was a professionals Bible study. There was like 8 people sitting around a table, each one with a Bible. So I sat next to a girl, and she explained me in more details what were they talking about that day. But I came away with more doubts and questions than before. So Jose had given me a Bible, but I didn't know how to read it. So I asked him to teach me. And he agreed, and in the following week we had our first official Bible study. The approach which Compa used to study the Bible was similar to the study technique that I use in science. That attracted me. And I was surprised to realize that it is possible to have to take a rational approach to the Bible.
So reading the Bible together with others, what spoke to you?
Well, I was surprised by the person of Jesus. I discovered a new face of Jesus. I met a different Jesus. Previously, I thought that he was one of many smart men in the story of our world, the smartest in his time. But I didn't know that he has a great heart full of love.
Great heart full of love. Could you share a little bit more about what fascinated you about Jesus?
Yes. One day we studied the story about Jesus in Jerusalem when he threw outside the temple the sailors. And I saw a man with strong emotions. Then we studied the history of a man with leprosy. And I saw a compassionate man full of love. Through the Bible, I saw a man full of emotions, with control of the nature, and a man willing to give his life for save everyone. And all the time I thought, I should be more like him and less like me.
And what was for you the crucial question you had to deal with?
Well, I used to think that Jesus was just a human being. But I discovered that he is God. Reading John 1 was particularly significant for me. When I first read this passage, I was very confused. How can Jesus be God? How can he be both a person like me and a fully God? And these questions made me want to investigate more. So, as I got now Jesus better through other biblical studies, I started to understand, and my vision of the world changed. I started to believe in a personal God. I became aware of my sin and the darkness in me, and what is most important, I met the love of God through His Word, through His grace and hope, which He gave us in Jesus Christ.
And how did you finally decide to become a follower of Jesus?
I am a scientist. I'm a scientific person, so I want to be sure of something before to believe in it. And if someone had shown me a miracle, I don't think that I would have believed. But I love the words. So Jesus came into my life through His Word, and I'm pretty sure that all the evidence necessary to believe in Jesus is there in the Bible. the words of God.
Looking back now, the last 2 years, what has changed in your life in terms of studies, relationship, life?
There are many things that has changed, especially my relationship with my family. I'm the only one Christian, and it's a challenge speak the gospel without bothering anyone. And I think the biggest change is my way to see in the world now. Today I know that all what I do is for the Lord, and everything has a meaning. 3 years ago, if someone asked me why you want to get involved in science, maybe my answer will be, I don't know, because I'm good on it and I like it. But now I know that it's because everything that I do is for the Lord, and I'm convinced that I want to work more in the university, and I want to work more for engaging the university in the next level, not just as a student of licentiature. I want to go deeper in the university. I want to go and research. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah, for sharing your story. Juljan from Albania, welcome. Many national student movements have been doing so-called gospel projects, inviting people to explore the biography of Jesus according to one of the Gospels. I think it's a great way to introduce people to Jesus, allowing them to discover by themselves, to be fascinated by Jesus, to discover his relevance for our lives, for the big questions of our world. And I myself have seen many students being attracted by Jesus just by reading and studying stories from the Gospel. Juljan, I have been visiting Albania as Regional Secretary of Europe over many years. And when I met the students from the different student groups in the country and asked them, how did you become a believer, a Christian? I was always amazed that none of the students in the student group came from a Christian home, and nearly all of them had become believers as students. So, Juljan, can you tell us a little bit, how do student groups in Albania live as a witnessing community, making Jesus known and inviting others to follow Jesus?
Being a student in a post-communist country, it's not an easy thing. And in our student ministry, everyone, like myself, we are first-generation Christians that we follow Jesus and walk with Jesus in the university. It depends from what the other thinks. So we are not ashamed to share our faith and to speak about Jesus inside the university in a post-communist university campus.
And can you tell a little bit more how that looks like?
But things look like this. In post-communist countries, doing, for example, voluntary work, it's not on something normal. So what we do as students, we go and help for free, without payment, and we do this with the university or with the community. So this is a way to show God's love in a practical way.
Well, even more specific, could you give some examples how you practice these things?
I can give 2 examples from 2 different cities. Our medical student group in the capital, they have this something called the orientation week at the university. This has been done between them and the university. So the first week of the university, they call these fresher students, and they orientate them where are the lecture rooms, what's the subject they are following, and all these things during the morning. And during the afternoon, with the permission of the university, they invite the students in a meeting when they share the gospel openly. So they share who they are, these students, what they do, and they share Jesus. Another example I can give is from my hometown, that what we do with with the university together. We have a good relationship with the administrator, so they call us in the university when they need help. So we do voluntary work for them, free of charge, and they give permission to us to go to the university for our events. Another thing, a small thing that happened to us last year is that the administration called us and said at the dorm of the university, wireless network is not working. So we have in our group a lot of students from IT and IT engineering. So we build a wireless network with just a little money, and they give us permission to call the wireless network BSKS, the IFS movement in Albania. So in the university, it's a wireless network free called BSKS Vlor.
Great practical examples. You said you are openly sharing the gospel. Can you a little bit more tell about that?
Now, I heard a story this morning when a brother from Kyrgyzstan, if I'm not wrong, was sharing and was saying that they stood up not to pay bribes to the teachers. And I was feeling home because our students do this in everyday life. And they stood up in things that look normal for the society, but are not normal for a Christian life. And they speak about Jesus in their university classes. We had one of the students, you know him, Ermal. He did his thesis in one of the subjects to protect Christian ethics on economy. So we were praying all, and he did this in front of 150 students. So we speak openly what we believe, and we share openly living every day what we believe.
So obviously there are lots of students who at some point then not only listen, but join you and decide to become believers. What is it what attracts them to follow Jesus?
When I said before that we are a first generation Christian, it's meaning that people around us don't know a lot about Christianity. So they see our lifestyle, and the other thing, most important thing, is that we present them, the moment we meet them, we present them with the Bible. So Bible study and opening the scripture is something important for us. And we do this, we use some material from Exciting About Jesus, that you know the book. And we use the Bible directly to share the gospel. I became a Christian through reading the Bible and the story of Moses during my university time, high school time.
Thank you very much, Juljan, for sharing
Thank you.
about that. Just,